There is a force living inside you. You don't see it, you don't touch it, but you hear it. It is the voice that wakes you up at 3 a.m. replaying a conversation from years ago. It is the narrator that convinces you that everyone in the room is judging you. It is the invisible architect of your anxiety, your self-doubt, and your hesitation. You think this voice is you? You think that the constant stream of noise, judgment, planning, and worrying is your personality. You think that your thoughts are reality, but they are not. You are living inside a mental projection, a story generated by a mind that has been left running without direction. You are physically present in this room, watching this screen, but mentally you are miles away. You are in a future that hasn't happened, preparing for disasters that exist only in imagination. Or you are in a past that is already gone, replaying old memories, trying to change an outcome that can no longer be changed. And because you are never here, you are never fully alive. You become a stranger in your own life. Most people live and die in this state. They spend 70 or 80 years trapped inside the small kingdom of their own mind, controlled by a narrator they never consciously chose. They think this is normal. They call it being human. It is not. It is a condition of the modern mind. But what happens when the noise stops? What happens when you finally disconnect from the loudspeaker? I'm not talking about positive thinking. I'm not talking about suppressing your emotions or distracting yourself with quick entertainment. I am talking about one of the most profound psychological shifts a human being can experience: the collapse of the false self. When you stop living inside your head, you don't just feel better. The world begins to look different. Colors appear sharper. Time seems to slow down. Your presence becomes heavier, calmer, and more noticeable to those who are still lost in distraction. You stop reacting and you start directing. But to get there, we have to examine the structure of your mind. We have to look at the chaotic noise you've been hiding behind your smile. You are going to feel resistance. Your mind will want to click away. It will tell you this is too long, too deep, too uncomfortable. That is the voice trying to protect its territory. Ignore it, stay, because the silence you are searching for exists on the other side of this darkness. Let's establish a hard truth. Most of your suffering is not happening in the real world. It is happening in the theater of your mind. The Stoics understood this. The Buddhists understood this. Modern psychology is only now catching up. There is a concept called the second arrow. The first arrow is the event itself. You lose your job. Someone criticizes you. You get sick. That is the first arrow. It hurts. It is physical. It is real. But then comes the second arrow. The second arrow is the story you tell yourself about the event. I lost my job, which means I'm a failure, which means I'll never recover, which means no one will respect me. She didn't text back, which means she dislikes me, which means I am unlovable, which means I will always be alone. The first arrow struck you once. The second arrow, you drive into yourself again and again. Every hour, every day, for years. You become attached to the second arrow. Why? Because your brain is not designed to make you happy. It is designed to keep you alive. To a primitive brain, quiet feels dangerous. In the wild, silence often meant uncertainty. So your brain evolved to fill the silence, to generate problems, to scan for threats. If you have no real problems, your mind will create them. It will invent scenarios where you are embarrassed, abandoned, or rejected. It does this because it believes it is protecting you. It thinks that if you worry enough, you can control the future. This is the great illusion of anxiety. The belief that if you think about a problem long enough, you can solve it. But you aren't solving anything. You are spinning. You are like a car with its wheels stuck in the mud, slamming on the accelerator. You are burning fuel, making noise, exhausting the engine, and going absolutely nowhere. Living in your head creates a distortion field. You stop seeing people as they are. You see them as characters in your personal drama. You project your insecurities onto them. If you feel small, you will perceive everyone as arrogant. If you feel guilty, you will perceive every innocent comment as criticism. If you are afraid of abandonment, you will cling to people until they leave, fulfilling the very prophecy you feared. This is why relationships break down. Not because of them, because you are no longer relating to them. You are relating to an image of them inside your head. You are arguing with a shadow while the real person stands in front of you, confused and hurt. You are trapped in a hall of mirrors, and until you break that illusion, you will never fully touch reality. What is the cost of this? What is the price you pay for this endless mental chatter? The price is your life. I don't mean your heartbeat. I mean the quality of your existence. When you are lost in thought, you are absent. You are not tasting your food. You are not hearing the music. You are not feeling the warmth of the person sitting beside you. You are skimming across the surface of existence without ever diving beneath it. But there is another cost, a strategic cost. Living in your head makes you ineffective. A person trapped in thought becomes slow. They hesitate. They doubt. They overanalyze. In a confrontation, the person constantly calculating what to say next is already behind. The person who is fully present, empty of noise and full of awareness, holds the advantage. Think of elite athletes, master craftsmen, top performers in any field. When they are operating at their highest level, they are not trapped in thought. They are in flow. The internal commentary disappears. Awareness takes over. Action and attention become one. When you live in your head, you drain energy. Your brain already consumes a huge amount of your body's resources. When you overthink, it is like running a marathon while sitting still. That is why you are exhausted. That is why you wake up tired. You have been fighting imaginary battles all night, and people can sense it. Human beings are remarkably perceptive. We notice uncertainty. When someone is trapped in their own thoughts, they give off a specific energy. The energy of anxiety, neediness, and absence. You know this feeling. You speak to someone and realize they are not listening. They are waiting for their turn to talk. They are scanning the room. They are worried about how they appear. Do you trust this person? No. Do you respect them? No. Now imagine the opposite. Imagine meeting someone who is completely present. Their eyes are steady. They do not fidget. They listen with a level of attention that feels almost intense. They are not trying to impress you. They are not trying to gain something from you. They are simply there. That presence is powerful. It is attractive. It is influence. When you stop living in your head, you become that person. You become the eye of the storm. The chaos moves around you, but it does not enter you. But to reach that point, you have to understand who you really are. And this is where things become uncomfortable. Who are you? Are you your name? No, that is only a label. Are you your profession? No, that is only a role. Are you your body? No, that is constantly changing. Are you your thoughts? This is where most people make the mistake. This is the root of so much suffering. You believe you are the voice in your head. Try this experiment right now. Close your eyes for a moment. Ask yourself, what will my next thought be? Then wait. Watch carefully, like a cat watching a mouse hole. Did you notice the gap? That tiny moment of silence before the next thought appeared. In that gap, you were present, but the thought was not. If you can observe your thoughts, then you cannot be your thoughts. The camera is not the movie. The sky is not the clouds. You are the observer. You are the awareness behind the noise. The voice in your head is simply a biological process. It is a survival mechanism generating information. She's cold. He looks angry. I'm hungry. I'm failing. It is all information. The problem is that you treat every piece of information as truth. When the voice says, "I am worthless," you do not step back and notice it. You become it. You merge with it. Real detachment. The kind Robert Greene often points toward when discussing self-mastery is the ability to step back and watch the machine operate without getting trapped inside it. It is noticing your anxiety and saying, "My chest feels tight. My mind is racing," instead of saying, "I am anxiety." The difference between "I'm sad" and "I notice sadness" is the difference between drowning in the ocean and standing on the shore, watching the waves. This is not about stopping thoughts. You cannot stop the mind. Trying to silence the mind by force is like trying to flatten water with your hands. The harder you push, the more disturbance you create. Let the mind talk. Let it complain. Let it panic. But stop treating it as absolute authority. Treat it like a difficult roommate. If a roommate followed you around all day saying, "Everyone dislikes you. Everything is going to go wrong. You're not good enough," would you believe every word? Would you spend all day arguing with them? No. You would continue with your life. Eventually, because it is no longer receiving attention, the noise would begin to fade. That is how you deal with the mind. You do not fight every thought. You simply stop feeding it your attention. So what happens on the other side? When you finally stop living in your head, everything changes. The first thing you notice is the silence. It's not an empty silence. It's a full silence, a vibrating, alive stillness. You stop waiting for the next moment. You realize that this moment is the only thing that has ever existed. The past is a memory trace. The future is a projection. Life is always now. When you live in the now, fear begins to dissolve. Fear requires the future to exist. You cannot fear the present moment. You can face it. You can deal with it. You can accept it, but you cannot fear it. Fear is always connected to what if. When you remove the what if, you weaken the fear. You become highly effective. You stop procrastinating because procrastination is often just overthinking. The difficulty of a task. You see the dish, you wash the dish. You see the work, you do the work. There is no endless internal debate. Your relationships begin to transform. You are no longer using people to validate your ego. You are no longer projecting your private script onto them. You see them more clearly. And because you truly see them, they feel safe around you. They open up. They trust you. You become a magnet for honesty, and you become powerful. I use that word deliberately. A person who is not controlled by their own mind becomes much harder to control by others. Marketing loses much of its influence because you notice the persuasion. Guilt trips lose their grip because you recognize the emotional hook without taking the bait. Group pressure loses its power because you remain anchored in your own awareness. You become an outlier, a rare individual who sees through the noise. You move through the world and it feels almost dreamlike. You understand that much of life is perception. You understand the rules. And because you are no longer trapped by them, you are able to navigate them with far greater skill than most people. Why is this so difficult? If it is really this simple, just observe the thoughts and don't engage with them. Then why do most people fail? Why do you keep getting pulled back into the drama? Because a part of you is attached to the suffering. I know you want to reject that idea. You say, "No, I hate being anxious. I hate feeling depressed." But deep within the shadow side of your psychology, there is an attachment to it. Why? Because your pain gives you an identity. Who would you be without your wounds? Who would you be without the story of being misunderstood, overlooked, or different from everyone else? If you stopped thinking about your problems all day, you would have to face the emptiness of the present moment. You would have to face the reality that your life is your responsibility. The voice in your head provides explanations. It tells you why you haven't succeeded. The system is unfair. It tells you why you are alone. People are shallow. It builds a narrative where you are the central character in a difficult story, and the ego loves being the central character. Even if the story is painful, the ego would rather feel special and miserable than ordinary and peaceful. To stop living inside your head, you have to let the false version of yourself fade away. Not physically, but psychologically. You have to release the story you constantly tell yourself about who you are. This is what Carl Jung pointed toward when discussing the shadow. It is what many spiritual traditions describe as dissolving the ego's grip. It is the realization that the person you think you are is largely a collection of habits, memories, labels, and defense mechanisms. When you step out of thought and into awareness, you stop identifying with the character you have been playing. You become simply aware. This feels threatening to the ego. The ego says, if you stop thinking about me, I will disappear. In a way, it is correct. That is why when you sit in silence or try to meditate, your mind suddenly becomes louder. It throws your fears at you. It reminds you of old mistakes, unfinished responsibilities, and painful memories. It is demanding your attention. It is trying to pull you back into the story. Let it happen. Stay still. This is the path of self-mastery. It is easier to remain trapped in the noise than to become comfortable with silence. But the reward is freedom. When you no longer depend on your thoughts to define you, you become difficult to shake. Criticism passes through you. Failure becomes feedback. Life becomes information rather than identity. You become like water, adaptable, calm, and impossible to hold down. The voice will not disappear overnight. You have spent decades training it to be loud. It has momentum. Tomorrow you will wake up and the machine will start again. I'm tired. I have so much to do. What if I fail? Notice it. That is the practice. That is the work. Don't judge yourself for thinking. Just notice it. There is the voice. There is the narrator. Then return to your breath. Return to your hands. Return to the room. Do this 10 times a day, then 100, then 1,000. Every time you pull your attention out of the mental simulation and back into reality, you are doing a repetition. You are building the muscle of awareness. Eventually, the gaps become longer. The peace becomes deeper. And one day you will be walking down the street when you realize the constant commentary has faded into the background. And for the first time in your life, you will truly see the sky. Not the word sky, not the concept of sky, but the reality itself. Vast, infinite, silent, just like awareness itself. If you're still here, you're already thinking differently than most people. Subscribe if you haven't. Continue studying, continue observing, continue practicing. Because the moment you stop living inside the noise of your mind is the moment you begin experiencing life directly rather than through a story about it.